everyone, it's Dev from the Maniology team, and today we are going to be doing a Britney Spears inspired manicure. So for those of you who have been seeing our little thumbnail, we talk about, can you guess what manicure that I'm going to be doing? This is one of Britney Spears' most iconic looks, so we wanted to do something fun. Hey Melissa, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. So I don't know if you guys have kind of guessed already based off of the palette, but we have a lot of fun metallics here. So you can already assume it's not going to be the denim outfit, and it's probably not going to be that black outfit. So oh, someone was hoping for denim. Okay, we'll have to maybe revisit that later in the future. So the manicure we're going to be doing is inspired by her top most iconic look. And if you haven't guessed by now, it was from her Slave for You music video. So today we are going to be doing something a little different. So this is the design inspired by her outfit. So the funny thing is that, don't worry, we won't have any snakes, in case anyone's worried about that. We are going to be doing a really fun, colorful manicure. We're going to start the year off with a bang. Lots of shimmer, lots of sparkle, lots of metallics. So this is our look for today. This is actually a pretty simple manicure, so I don't imagine that we're going to be doing this for very, very long. But it's a new technique that I haven't shown you guys before, so I think this could be really, really fun. So if you saw her outfit, Britney Spears' outfit, she had like all these long pieces of fabric hanging down from her shorts. I think her most iconic thing was the fact that she was wearing those like sequin butterfly shorts. And to be quite honest, I planned out like a whole reverse stamping manicure with French and green and sparkles and all this other stuff. And at the very end, I was like, you know what? I actually like this other design a lot better. Sorry, y'all. I keep trying to like adjust the screen so that way we can make sure we get all the polishes in the camera. So the supplies you're going to be needing today: M052, the famous French plate. Then you're going to be using It's Lit B262. We're just going to be using that as the base, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I just applied one coat on. Monica says, show me a 6-year-old who doesn't love multicolor everything. So true. It's so much more fun. Anyways, we're going to be applying this It's Lit base. Just one coat is good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover it up anyways, but we just want to have a good metallic base. We're going to be using Ghoulish B347, Ho 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 B262, Unicorn Horn B340, Bubbly B322. And also, we're going to be using some sheer tints today. Ocean's Depths B276, Vermilion B273, and Violet Spectrum B274. So these are all the colors we're going to be using in today's live. Sorry, let me just set up my space here. I'm also going to be using a detail brush. This was from our last Mani by Me box, I want to say. The one right before the current box. I think it was like Mythical Creatures. And then you're also going to be needing a handy dandy stamper. And also your scraper card, which I almost completely forgot. So make sure you have a scraper card present. Mine's is very loved, so don't mind me. I'm actually just going to wipe it because I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't realize. I thought I was using my other scraper card, but we're going to be using this one today. So these are the items you're going to need. So you're going to start off with this base, and again, that's It's Lit B262. Then you're going to go ahead and use your French plate. So this look does not have to be perfect. It's meant to be a little messy. It's meant to be a little bit crazy. That's just like the outfit. As for those of you who have seen it and know what it looks like, it had a lot going on. So that's what we're going for. So first I want to start with Ghoulish. So when we're doing this, try to keep in mind how much green you're applying. I recommend about 2 green stripes. So I'm going to start on the center. And it's okay if it's not perfect again. And then the end. Then I'm going to go in with purple. And the blue. Just like that. If it's not perfect, it'll be okay. We can fix it later. Then you're just gonna scrape. I do not want to get it all over my mat, so I'm just gonna use this little sheet underneath. And you're gonna do something like that. As you can see, it's not perfect, and that's what I'm looking for because the outfit itself is also really colorful, so it's okay. I think I'm gonna just stamp that right here. Look at that, I didn't even get my blue, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp the blue back on like this. And that's all right. If you get a little whoopsie like me, it's okay. We're just gonna go ahead and use our detail brush for this part. So if you have some gaps and maybe you didn't have all the colors you wanted, you can just go ahead and start filling in those spaces with your detail brush. So pro tip, when you are using your detail brush, make sure that you clean it and wet it first. It'll make it a lot easier so that way you don't accidentally dig into the polish. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish out this line here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Wavy lines are great. And then I'm going to do the same for my blue. I'm probably just going to go ahead and touch things up. So again, it's okay if it's not perfect. That's kind of what makes this design so fun. And then I think I even want to throw in some pink and maybe even touch up my green. You can also modify this look if you want. So for example, if you don't want to have all these colors, maybe you could do 3 nails that have this design and then maybe a few other nails that are just like solid color. But I thought since it's the new year, we're go big or go home. So I went big. We're doing a bunch of nails with this look. Hi Melissa, thanks for joining us today. Hey Dessa. So I'm also gonna grab this pink color and I'm just gonna put it maybe right next to my purple. So as you can see, I'm not, you know, making perfect lines. As you can see, these are pretty messy. But I think that's part of the look, because if you saw her shorts, there were so many like loose pieces of fabric that were just kind of haphazardly hanging, and I think it really ties into her outfit. So if, for example, if Britney Spears was my client, I would have probably done this set on her because it ties in with her outfit. And also I think it reads from a distance, which is always something to look for. So if you're not great at doing freehand designs, this is the design for you. Because, you know, you don't have to get anything perfect. The lines can be wavy, they can be crooked, it's great. It helps give the design movement and interest, and that's what we're looking for. The next things we're going to do is you want to make sure that this is kind of dry first before you go ahead and apply the next step. But I wanted to intensify this purple here. So let me show you what I mean. If you look on, whoops, did I just nick it? This nail tip here, I intensified the purple. And the way you can intensify some of the metallic colors if you want is by using these sheer tints. There are so many fun uses for the sheer tints, and that's definitely one of them. I discovered that earlier today when I was working on this set, that yeah, there are unlimited possibilities. So for this, because this sheer tint is so pigmented, the way that I'm going to work with it is I'm going to use my stamper. So again, you can use these tips and tricks that I'm showing you guys and figure out other ways to apply them and do other really cool techniques with it. So I'm just going to pick some up with my brush, and then I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Now, if you're wondering why am I painting it on the stamper instead of on the nail, it's because I want to make sure that when I apply this, it's going to be an even coat. This color, Ocean Depths, for those of you who haven't worked with it, it is very, very, very pigmented. And I want to make sure that when I apply it, I'm not going to have some areas that are extremely dark and some areas that are extremely light. So let's see, this is dry enough. You just touch it. And then you're going to go ahead and stamp it on over the blue, and look at how it changes that blue. It makes it so dark and so pretty. And I love the color by itself, but I like the fact that I can intensify it if I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and do that a second time with the remainder polish that I have here. I'm just going to pick up some and then just draw a little wavy line like this. Right, Dessa? Isn't that cool? There are so many ways to use your brushes and use all these tools. So usually I show you guys, you know, things that you know. Reverse stamping is a popular technique. But I wanted to show you guys something else today. So this is a different technique that still uses your stamper and, you know, gives you a little bit of freehand, makes it a little bit more creative, kind of gives it that custom touch. So I'm going to do the same with vermilion because I want to intensify that pink. And I think the good thing about this is that you don't have to necessarily have more polishes to make some of the colors you want. You can always mix some of the colors you already have to kind of create something new. Or, you know, just to spruce it up, add a little bit of excitement to your favorite colors. So again, this is not a perfect line. It really does intensify the blue, doesn't it, Melissa? So when I was looking through my polishes and also looking at Britney Spears' outfit, I noticed that the blue that she was wearing in her shorts was like more like this bright teal blue. And we had a royal blue. We also have, you know, bubbly, which is kind of more of a softer blue. But I wanted something that was a lot more vibrant so that way it would be like her shorts. And again, I wouldn't necessarily always need that color, but I just needed it for this moment. And I figured out, hey, this is another cool trick that I can teach you all. So just double check that it's, whoops, mostly dry. Then you're going to go over your pink and stamp that. Voila. So the last area that I want to show you how to do is the purple. You can see it's this very thin sliver of purple right here. So to do the purple, I, again, wanted to stay true to the aesthetic of her outfit. So if you don't want to, that's completely fine. You don't have to. There are no rules on this, but because I was trying to get a very specific look, I'm going to go ahead and mix the purple to a custom color that I wanted. So I used a little bit of Violet Spectrum and Vermilion, and then you're going to add just the smallest amount of Ocean's Depths. As you can see, it's a very, very small amount because the color is very strong. We don't need that much. So I was looking for a colder purple to create my look. And I realized that the current purple that I had was just slightly too red for what I wanted. So you can go ahead and just mix the colors, especially the sheer tints. They mix so well for this kind of thing. And get the color that you want. So there, I just loaded my brush up with some, and I'm going to do this technique again where I just kind of do that to the stamper, draw my little wiggly line, and then you're going to give it a few moments to dry. The reason why you don't want to stamp this on directly is because if it's too wet and you stamp it down, when you remove your stamper, you're actually going to end up taking the polish with you, and that's going to be very frustrating. So that's the reason why I recommend just waiting a few moments, and then you can always do the touch test to make sure that it's not too tacky. If you end up with a little bit on your finger, that's how you know it's still not dry enough, and then that means if you stamp it, you're only going to get a partial transfer with your polish, and it's going to be annoying. So there we go. Can you see how intense the colors are? The blue, the purple, and the pink. I'm wondering if we need a little separating line. Sometimes when this happens, where I have the blue, pink, and purple next to each other, it's very, very intense colors, and they're all kind of dark. You can just go ahead and clean that up if you want and add like another color or a lighter color in between to kind of separate it. So I think I'm going to go back over here and try to separate those colors just a little bit by adding a thin line. That way it kind of defines the look a little bit more. So you don't have to do all these steps that I'm doing. That's completely up to you. If you want to, you can. If you don't want to, I'm sure it's still going to look just as beautiful. And I kind of think that's it. Like, or should I just do... I love how I'm like, that's it. Does a little bit more. Yeah, I think I like it. So here, let me show you what our full look is like. Oh, that's gonna drive me crazy. Also, the good thing is, like with this look, if I just wanna fix certain spots like that, you totally can. Perfect. Much, much better. And this is our look for today. Something fun, something fairly simple. You don't have to have, you know, really good nail skills or freehanding skills to create this look. All you really need is your stamping plate M052, detail brush, and whatever colors you want to do this trick. And I can totally imagine Britney Spears wearing this on stage with that outfit. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it would look good, especially if she had long nails with it. Yeah, totally works. Monica asked if I would stamp over this. Personally, I think I wouldn't stamp over it just because it's got a lot going on. There's a lot of colors. but that's just my personal aesthetic. If other people wanted to stamp over it or do something with it, I'm sure you could create some really cool stuff. But I think for the purpose of what I was going for today, this would be good enough for me. So Happy New Year, Kathy. I'm gonna just go ahead and take a look at the comments. Oh, someone says matte versus glossy. Let's find out. I have some matte top coat right here. And I think this nail is completely dry since that one we just painted. Let's see what this looks like matte. So that's going to take a second to dry. I guess in the meantime, I will paint the top coat on this, even though we don't technically need to. Oh, never mind. I'm like, now we just have to wait to see it dry. While that's happening, let me see if I can answer some questions or comments. I missed the beginning of where you showed how you did this. Is there a way to watch it after the live? Yes, Jean. So even during the live, if you come in later, you can always rewind the live in real time. That's the coolest thing about YouTube. That's part of the reason why we wanted to transition over. It's because we realized that those capabilities were not available for Facebook Live, and also in order to see Facebook Live, you'd have to have a Facebook account. Unlike YouTube, anyone can watch it, anyone can join the live as long as you have the link. So, Nancy's asking, can you use regular nail polish? Absolutely. You can definitely use regular nail polish to create this same look. The only thing that I'd want to say about the regular nail polish is make sure you have a base down, like a good solid base, because a lot of times nail polish happens to be a lot less pigmented. So if you put it on like a blank base, you might end up seeing some things you don't want to see. So looks like not too many questions. Hey Aisha, thanks for joining us today. Monica, you're right. Scraper cards are not created equally. They all have their own little thing. Some scraper cards are better for certain designs versus others. For example, I absolutely need a thick scraper card when it comes to designs that have a lot of etching in them, because if I use like a skinny scraper card, it ends up like digging out the polish. I've noticed with a thicker scraper card, since it's a lot firmer, I can't accidentally dig out the polish. I don't know if you guys can tell, it's matte already a little bit. I'm like, is it still drying? It's still kind of wet, but I did mattify it, so we can take a look at the difference here, because I put top coat on the other one. So this has top coat and it's very shiny, and this is the matte. So you can still see all the colors, but it kind of reduces the shine. It makes it a little easier for you to see each individual color. So that is a preference if you like that look, or you can go big and go shiny. I think both look pretty good. So again, it just depends. If you're trying to take photos, always go with matte. If you are just wearing it for fun and you're not trying to take a photo of it, then I think the shiny looks great as well. But that's pretty much it for today's live. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you guys have any questions and we weren't able to answer them, please just comment below and someone will respond. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.